Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Madam Khalila. We are from Group 7 and we will cover the landscape contractor stage. And our group is me, Huwaini and Izzudin. So the main objective of this assignment is to expose to the student the stage of project that related with the landscape architect stage. So I will start with the what is landscape contractor. The job scope. So landscape contractor job scope have a 7. First is provide client with the advice. Second is take detail measurement. Third is contractor select the material. Fourth is plan the logistic of the operation. Fifth, the identify any subcontractor. And six, construction form, which carry out the foundation works. And the last one is carry out planting to create the natural features. And for the provide client with advice is landscape contractor provide client with advice on type of the landscaping that meets their requirement. So they will talk the client preference and the landscape style and the potential of the site. And for the second point is take detail measurement, which landscape contractor will take the detail measurement of the site and take account of the physical and environmental issue, which such as prevailing winds, climate and natural features. And then for the detail measurement, we have divided into two, for large scale project on smaller project. So for large scale project, contractor may work with a landscape architect, and the one who prepare the proposal and draw a detail of the project. And then for a smaller project, usually the landscape contractor will work on themselves. And then for the third is select the material. We know that landscape contractor is familiar with the material, so that landscape contractor will deal the material and they will select the material, and also they will provide a budget of the client for the project. And as a landscape contractor, they will select the material and also provide the budget that cover the material and labor. And for the fourth point is plan the logistic of the operation, which landscape contractor will plan the logistic of the operation, establishing the sequence of works and ordering the delivery of material to meet their schedule. And then the fifth is identify any subcontractor, which landscape contractor will identify the subcontractor that will complete the specialized tasks, such as for water feature, for electrical and so on. And the next job scope of the landscape contractor is construction form. As we know, the landscape contractor is involved the environment, so that they will cooperate with the engineer, architect and so on. So they need to carry out the foundational work, such as laying, drainage or installing the irrigation system. And they also reshape the landscape with the slope or terrace, which create the special features such as rock garden, ponds, fountain and so on. And landscape contractor also will create the internal and external boundary. Contractor build wall and erect fences. Okay, next, the last one is carry out planting to create nature features. Landscape contractor is same as the landscape architect, so that landscape contractor also will carry out planting to natural features using shrub, trees, ground cover and so on. So as a landscape contractor, they will also recommended the maintenance for the planting programs or planting scope. And so today, after we know what is landscape contractor job scope, so that I will present the landscape contractor stage in landscape project. As a landscape contractor, they will also recommended the maintenance for the planting programs or planting scope. And so today, after we know what is landscape contractor job scope, so that I will present the landscape contractor stage in landscape project. Okay, basically in construction stage as a landscape contractor, we have a 9. So first is preliminary pre-construction work. Second is work method statement, and next is work method, and then setting up, and then site meeting, and next is progress work and progress claims, and and then next is sample submission, and next is construction activities such as RFI, NCR, VO, EOT, and so on. And the last one is completion of the project and handover. So I will cover for the first one, which preliminary and pre-construction work. So what is preliminary and pre-construction work? It is about the purpose of preliminary section is landscape contractor to carry out the condition of the site. So before the project before the project start, so landscape contractor will take a look first the site condition, or the site the detail of site. So they will carry out the detailed site out survey for the works. And next is work method statement. Work method statement is generally is a document that set out the high risk construction work activities to be carried out at a workplace, the hazards arising from the site activities, and also to measure to be put in place to control the risk, which means the work method statement is awareness for the landscape, awareness for the project that give instruction or give the measure for landscape contractor, architect that involved to be aware. So mostly the work method statement is provided for the high risk construction, but it can be applied also in smaller risk construction. Okay, for example, the work activity that require using power mobile plant, and it's like a bajak and so on. The information must be included in work method statement is identify the work that is high risk construction work, specify hazard relating to the high risk construction work and the risk and safety, describe the measure to be implemented to control the risk, and also describe how to control measure are to be implemented, monitor and review. So the work method statement must be easily to understood, especially for example like non-English speaking, so that we use the diagram or visual thing to show, and it is a more effective way to communicate. And the last one is work program. Work program is describe the sequence in which tasks must be carried out so that the project can be complete on time. In general, I can say that work program is more like a timeline or the Gantt chart of the project, so that the project will complete on time. So program will often identify dates and duration allocated to the task, a critical path, which upon the overall duration of the project is dependent, means that it's like a contingencies situation, because some critical tasks or maybe some situation may be happen. And then The third one is tasks which can only be carried out after other tasks have been completed, which we will schedule. We will put our job scope or our work in right schedule. I mean, like we will cooperate with the engineer and so on, so that if engineer doesn't start their work, like installation irrigation, we cannot start our work because we need to wait for them. So that it is important to us, to landscape architect, to plan the job scope. And the last one is the need for specific resource such as a plant, service and material. So as a landscape architect, the work program, we will involve the specific resource schedule, which means we will conduct the plant or material will arrive to the site, the where we get the material, when we get the tree, shrub and so on, service and material and so on. So that the work program is important for landscape contractor. But why work program important to landscape contractor? First of all, it enables you to see whether the duration the client has stipulated is achievable, and when you know the overall project, you can calculate your overhead cost preliminaries, which are your management, supervision and running costs. Means that work program we will related with the cost. So if we in schedule, or if we in the right path of the construction stage, we manage the cost also. It mean that how we deal with the management, supervision and the cost that involved of the project. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'll be presenting about three vital things. The first one is setting out, the second one is the submitting, and followed by the last one is the working claim and the working progress. So I'll be starting with the setting out first. So the aim of the setting out, there are four aims. The first one is to refine the design, second one is to practicality check, the third one to fix layout geometrically, and the last one is to convey adequate information to the contractor. So back to the first one, to refine the design. How they can refine the design by referring to the setting out plan is that they can refine the thought and their functions of their own drawings. And then the second one is to practically check. By saying this is to ensure everything is ergonomically designed. Ergonomy itself brings the meaning of efficiency and to make everything comfort in the working environment. The third one is to fix layout geometrically, and this one can help by confirming the accuracy of the level and the height of the paving. Retaining wall, if there is a retaining wall, the steps and every other vital services such as drainage. And the last one is to convey adequate information, because this setting out is actually from the designers to the contractor. So how this can help to the contractor by doing a better work onwards is by giving adequate information. The method of preparing, there are 5 vital methods. The first one is, of course, practicality. Second one is the drawings have to be very clearly. Third one is accurate. The fourth one is information needed to plot survey is exactly the same as information needed to set out a scheme. The last one is contractor should never use a ruler to do a scale on the drawing. So to give a good setting up plan is to making sure that everything is in there, but it's not too compact, and will never demanding a contractor to use even a single ruler. Alright, so this is the setting out detailed information. Information will be required to both price and construct the works. And the second one is setting out plan can be handed out in drawings, specifications and schedules have to be included. And the last one is information drawn, portrait in plan, elevations and section. Setting up, the designer have to give the setting up plans with a complete elevations, sections and the plans. Alright, so this is the requirement of the setting out. There are several requirements that have to be in the setting out plan. The first one is the site survey, sketch plan, key plan, paving details, levels and drainage. And the last one, the very vital thing, is the planting plans. Of course, is the do's and the don'ts on this setting up plan. The do's for the designer to help the contractor to do good work onwards. The setting up plan have to use a key drawings, and then if there is a cascade, so the cascade information in the most logical, clear way. Give information that will help to build the cascade in the best possible way, and give the information in the most clear way to the contractor, and then do a cross-refer information. The don'ts is don't create unnecessary drawings, make it simple yet very clear. Don't show unnecessary information. You don't have to look good on the plan, but it doesn't really help the contractor. And then if you don't know one thing, you don't have to show it. It is very unnecessary to put everything inside one very cramped drawings. Right? So these are the assessment that will be done by the contractor on the setting up process. The first one, the contractor will do the repairing and the pruning, and then it will do the assessment on the soil condition. Third one, the contractor will know about the health and the safety of the site. Next is the site will be compared to the plans, and the last one is the contractor will know about the access and the storage of the site itself. So I'll be explaining about the construction by the contractor during the setting up plan. So the first one, the risk assessment. So by saying this, the contractor will know about the risk that they will be taking. Either they can go through the site, or how to unload the things, the tools and everything. And then the second one is they will do the clearance. So the contractor will do the clearance on every unwanted plants or every wastage, and then they will do the contouring. By saying the contouring, they will not only take into account the contour of the land level, they will also the ground level. They will also take into account the contouring of the pond as well. So the services is the contractor will take into account as well the services that is happening around the site, such as the TM or anything that is happening around the site. And then landscape features out, and then the contractor will do the foundations horizontally and then vertically, and then followed by the finishing ponds, and the contractor will do the construct features, followed by the finished contouring, and then after finishing the contouring, they'll do the ground preparation and the soil improvement, of course. And after everything that is so basic and the foundation is done, the contractor will start with the planting, and then the mulching, turf laying, and then lastly they will do the final check on this setting up phase. Alright, so the next one, so these are the submitted agenda that will be facing by the contractor and the designers, the consultant. So the contractor will shall attend all the meeting called by the representative officer. So the first one, the agenda for the meetings will be, the first one is the minutes of previous meeting. They will be recalling about the minute of the previous meeting, the one that they have had before this one. And then second one is the safety meaning including the safety statistic. So the contractor will show everything very naked, very pure and very transparent to the consultant. And then the next one is the security, and then the contractor will be having the agenda with the engineers, technical, and the materials. They will be presenting about the materials, and then the contractor will show the progress and the schedule, followed by the interfaces, the quality of the things that is happening around them, and then the contractual and other businesses that is happening, such as anything, do they have to do any extension, any extend. And then after that, they will be taking into account the areas of consent, and after that they will be postponing the meeting into the next meeting. That will be the agendas. Alright, and then in the meeting, the contractor as well shall prepare and present all at the meeting the current information relating to each of the work. And then the contractor as well will be presenting the schedule detailing of the total number of the hours worked. So the contractor will be presenting the schedule, the timetable of who is working, who is not working, and then by what time and what time they will be starting and they will be ending of the day, how many hours they will be working of the day, such and such. And then the responsible officer will chair the meetings and will record and issue the minutes of the meeting. The meeting will be held on site unless otherwise directed by the responsive officer. So every meeting that is happening between the contractor and the consultant will be having at the site, unless the officer said they will be having somewhere indoor. Alright, so these are the images of the sample of the contractor weekly meeting. So these are how it will be looks like. Next one is the progress work and progress claim. Alright, so what is the aim of the progress work and claim? The aim is to claim for the progressively increasing value of the work completed date. The next one is a progress claim will also be prepared by subcontractor, not only the head of the contractor. And then the subcontractor may also delegate actual preparation, so just everything is as simple and as the same way the contractor will be doing. Alright, so this is the things that will be issued. Alright, so the claim will be completed ready for submission, and this is the time issuing. When will the contractor will be issued the progress claim? So the time will be stated in the contract before they will be doing the project, and then usually it will be on the 28th of the month. 28th of the month, because every month have the date of the 28th. And but if it is fall on the Saturday and Sunday, so the progress claim should be submitted on the proceeding working days. So these are the information required to be included into the work claim. The first one is the building company's name, second one is the proprietor's name, and the third one is project name and the address of the project name, the site, and then the next one is the date, and the last one is program claim number.
I will continue on the discussion about landscape contractor. There are 4 points that I want to emphasize here. The first is about the submittal. Second is about the factory and nursery visit. The third is the important document involved in landscape contractor. And last but not least, the completion of project and handover of the project. Point number 1 about the submittals. Submittal refers to the written and or physical information provided by a responsible contractor to a general contractor. Okay, there are several types of submittals, such as sample submission, mock-ups, and also shop drawing. We go to the point number 2, which is factory visit and nursery visit. Commonly, there are 2 types of place that contractor will bring along a client and also consultant. First is a factory, and the second is a nursery. About a factory visit, the purpose of factory visit is to observe materials needed for the landscape construction. The main aspect of this visit is to know either the supplier can deliver the material to the site or not. Alright, and last but not least about this point is, commonly the landscape consultant have only one supplier on this matter due to reason that they can supply all the material needed by contractor. About the nursery visit, nursery have been visited by contractor in order to observe on the plant that can be supplied for the construction. The common reason on this visit is to observe on the workmanship of the plant, especially on how the nursery taking care of the plant. In current practice, normally contractor will have several number of supplier on plants due to reason that each supplier have a specific plant that others do not have. We go to the point number 3, which is an important document that involve in construction activities. We have RFI, request for information. We have NCR, non-conformance report. We have AI, architect instruction. We have VO, version order. We have EOT, extension of time. And we have LAD, liquidated and ascertained damage. And then we go to the point number 4, which is completion of project and handover. Commonly in the practice of the construction, the contractor will bring along a landscape architect as well as client to make a site inspection to observe either the site have meet what is included in the contract or not. So I refer to the clause 1.1 in 1.0 contractor's obligation. The contractor shall upon and subject to this condition carry out and complete the works in accordance with the contract documents and in compliance therewith provide materials, goods and standards described in the contract documents and are required by the architect in accordance with the provision of the contract. And then after the check on the site and it meet the requirement which states in the contract document, last but not least, it will go to the handover. The handover of the site to the client take place once the contract administrator has confirmed that the work defined in the contract are complete. However, it should be planned well in advance and any special requirement included in the appointment document and contract. Handover may take place during a handover meeting following an inspection of the site. So, in conclusion, landscape contractor is a person who make, design and build of the landscape project. There are several process and important document involved in a pre-construction period, construction period, and after the construction period, which is completion of project and handover a project. So that's all from us. We hope that our discussion and our explanation have made all of you understand what is landscape contractor is all about. Okay, that's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.